Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity.
Hi, and thanks for tuning in to our live radio show. Moments of Clarity with Tiffany will begin in just a few moments. Please stay tuned. Kindly take this opportunity to share this show on your platforms, because change can only come when we stand together as one, especially when it comes to ending the stigma on mental health.
You are not alone, and help is out there.
Kids have mental health issues, and we also need to learn coping skills.
Let's get started and let the show begin. See you soon. Hi, everyone. This is Tiffany Warner, host of Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and so happy to see you guys here. We're going to have a great show, and my guest today is going to be sharing such a powerful journey that she's gone through in her life. And not only has she supported ending the stigma on mental health, but she's doing a lot to really raise education and awareness about some things that most people definitely don't understand or have a hard time understanding it correctly, and that's called dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. And for a lot of people, it's a scary topic. And welcome, Cole Ian, informally until we get to the show, but we're going to get there soon. I'll say hi to some people. Jason from India, thank you so much for being here. Nice to see you, my friend. And I think there was a holiday today, or yesterday, I guess, or ending the holiday. So happy holiday. Have a great show. Thank you, Summit. And Joe, thanks for joining us today. Invite your friends to watch the show. Call in with comments or questions. 866-826-1340. I'm going to invite Ed on to here. And Ed, if you can unmute your mic so I can hear my cue, that would be great. Joe, say if you can't call in and leave a question for the guest, leave a question here. Every effort will be made to read your question live. Very true. And when I ring a bell, give a good question, you get a bell. Ed, if you would just unmute so I can hear the radio cue, that'd be awesome. Hi, Abby, Gadia. And good morning from Seattle. Hi, Tiffany. I hope I pronounced your last name right. I'm going to get to it right soon enough. Anyway, inside joke. Anyway, so everyone, thank you so much for being here, for kindly leaving comments. And someone, Facebook user says, hi, Cole, Ian, and Tiffany. Cole, you're getting a lot of support, and they don't even know how wonderful you are yet. Ed,
3
please
o'clock, or living the good life.
start the show.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, and thanks for listening. This is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that a lot of people misunderstand and find it either hard to believe, hard to understand, and or hard to diagnose too. And it's called dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. Before I formally get to introduce my guest and everything, I want to say hi to Ed.
Hey, happy Thursday.
Hi, Ed. Happy Thursday. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for asking. Everything going good over there?
It is, and I'm excited because we have a touch of fall that will be in the area on the weekend. It's going to plummet to 85 degrees on Sunday, which is going to be nice.
Really? 85.
Yes.
There's a fall festival this weekend at Our Lady Lourdes Carnival. Just plugging that for free, and just because. And other than that, no, nice weather is always a plus.
Yeah, put you in the mood for the holidays. Get you ready anyway.
Yeah, we usually start getting a little bit of a breeze in lower weather around Halloween.
Yeah,
Usually.
if we're lucky.
But this year's weather and everything has been so different than usual. So, who knows?
I was just looking at the Denver cam, and they already have snow on the ground. Go figure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, pop in whenever you want. And
You got it.
everyone, when you call in, call 866-826-1340 and say hi to my friend Ed when you do. 866-826-1340. So, my guest today is a human trafficking survivor, and she's experienced the challenges of moving beyond the trauma. She understands how easy it is to remain stuck in our pain and how difficult it is to find the healing we so desperately seek. Her goal is to help her clients understand the recovery process and reconnect with themselves. She's well qualified by her own experiences, as well as the number of trauma recovery workshops and seminars in which she's participated. And she does so much outreach for the community. And she holds certificates in therapeutic art trauma, therapeutic art and healing, happiness and stress reduction, and training hours for DBT, which is dialectical behavioral therapy that's helpful with these kind of mental health conditions. She's also the founder of DID Discovering Hope, which is a nonprofit ministry in the Tampa Bay area. And the purpose is to give love, understanding, compassion to those who struggle with depression, trauma disorders, and dissociation disorder from horrific abuse, such as being forced in human trafficking, sexual ritual abuse, church abuse, and early childhood abuse, and things like that that lead to something severe like dissociative identity disorder. And what a blessing and honor to have you here, Cole Ian.
Thank you, Tiffany. I'm so glad to be here. This is such an honor for me. This is like the fourth time I've been on your show, so I'm really honored and glad that I'm able to be here.
And every time it gets different because you keep progressing in your journey as well. So like when I met Cole probably a good 4 years ago or 5.
Yeah, about 5 years ago, I think. It's been a long time.
You had just had your child, or about to. So, or
No, that was later because she's going to be 2.
So it was before that though.
Yeah.
We're hoping, you're looking forward to it. Something, but whatever. Anyway, so it's been a long enough time to say that we're friends and have done a lot of work together to try to build and end the stigma on things such as this. And she does a lot of conferences in the area, host seminars and things we're going to talk about as well. But first, I would like to start off with how you discovered and where your passion came with discovering hope in dissociative identity disorder. I know that you lived with it yourself, and it kind of came about later on in life when it resurfaced and memories started surfacing. So I'd love to hear your story and share it with everyone.
Yes. So I was actually in my 30s when I discovered my childhood trauma. I actually had severe amnesia, and I have now, over the years, through recovery, have discovered that I was trafficked at 2 years of age. I was rescued when I was about 7.5 by my own mother. And then when I began to get my memories, I just really had a hard time finding the support. I didn't really understand dissociative identity disorder. I was diagnosed with it. And so it was very hard for me to find any type of resources. And I thought I could not be the only one struggling in this area. And, there's so much debate about it. I know for me personally, I've lived with it. So it was like, I just can't do this alone. And so Discovering Hope was actually founded just to bring awareness. And actually it was for me. I kind of want to be selfish a little bit here, but it was for me.
You were helping others. Let's backtrack a second. I kind of got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
You were human trafficked from the age of 2, but then rescued by your own mother. So were you kidnapped, or how did that?
No, my mother was also, she was, it's a really long story, so I don't want to go into all of it, but she was also trafficked. She was also trafficked when she was really young. This was all like discovered later. She never talked about it. I didn't really realize it. And she married a man who really just was in that. And she was adopted by a family who were very much involved in that. I don't even know if she was really technically adopted. She never had a birth certificate or anything. So it was really hard for her to get out of it. She had ran multiple times when I was very, very young. And before I hit 8 years old is when that part of my life changed. She ran and she got away, and it was just something that I didn't even know. I mean, I knew about the violence. There was a lot of violence. That was never something that I had actually forgotten, but I had forgotten so much of everything else. And before she actually passed away in 2017, but I was really thankful because she was able to confirm a lot of the memories. She was able to confirm a lot of the things that I went through. She went through. So she was definitely a warrior herself, who became a nurse, and, she had to change her name. So it definitely was something that she didn't talk about. And she didn't want me to remember. So for her, it was really hard when I began to get the memories.
That must have been so scary for you to have no recollection. And that's our brain protecting us. And when we have repressed memories after a trauma, it's our brains, it's an organ. It's trying to heal. It's not ready to process. And that's when, other personalities could come out too. If it's severe continued abuse, that it doesn't want to, it's not ready to process everything. And then when the memories resurface, it means that your brain's trying to say, okay, I'm ready to start working on this, because things are going to come back and resurface anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That must have been really scary when you're starting to have all these memories of like, oh my gosh, why am I remembering this, and did this really happen? What was that like for you?
For me, I felt like I was going crazy. I felt like something was completely wrong. I never had issues with, like, at least for me, I didn't realize I had issues with like panic attacks or anxiety. And the next thing I know, I was even afraid to leave my house. Very afraid, very uncomfortable, struggled with trusting people. I could not function. I'm very educated. I went to school. I became a childcare specialist, had my own business, and everything had to just stop. My whole life just stopped. And I didn't have any understanding of it, except that it was overwhelming. It was scary. It was, there was just so many emotions that it's
like,
just so many.
Like, I can imagine feeling scared and all this stuff, but then also anger that you're remembering something that had happened to you that was undeserved and not your fault. And viciously people took advantage of you as a child. And then all of this aftermath of why you were acting and like things that you couldn't understand mentally as an adult and how to process through that.
Mhm.
So, tell us a little bit what dissociative identity disorder is for you, and how many personalities are you coping with now?
So, dissociative identity disorder was formerly known as multiple personality disorder. And I think it was like 93, somewhere in the mid 90s, they changed it to dissociative identity disorder. It was a coping skill. It is a coping skill for survivors who've been through horrific abuse from human trafficking, as you said before, bullying. It can happen from bullying, sexual abuse. It's an ongoing, repetitive abuse, though. And so you can formulate more than one personality, distinct personality separate from yourself. You have amnesia, don't remember. It's basically dissociating from the things around you. You dissociate from not just the things around you, but your emotions. Your everyday life can be very much disordered. For me, in the beginning, that was not the case. I had a lot of, like, my environment, I wasn't losing time a lot. It wasn't until the memory started surfacing that the dissociation became more pronounced for me. I had originally about 40 multiple personalities. Today, I only have about 3. So I'm almost fully integrated, and I'm always co-conscious now. So it's been amazing.
Yes. I think like the last time I interviewed, it was up to like 6. So
yeah,
that means that they're
lots of work.
And you compartmentalize them as if they're all sitting in your room in chairs. Like I want to describe that. I kind of remember you saying something like how it works in the brain. Like they all are there, but you give one a chance to speak when it's the time, or if they feel like they need to come forward.
Yeah, which, again, is training. You have to basically retrain your brain, mindfulness, all these things, because you have to get yourself to learn how to communicate and basically love yourself. And by loving yourself is loving those parts and not being afraid of them. So that was the thing, was bringing and embracing who they were and learning about who they were, which was really me. They're all me. I just wasn't identifying with them. I wasn't feeling connected to them. So, we'd have this, I called it the conference room, where everyone would get together and sit, and everyone would have an opportunity to share. For a really long time, every day, this was something that I had to do. I still occasionally have to do it when I'm prepping for something that is not in my routine. But I had to literally spend an hour each day just preparing for my day and making sure we were all on the same board and communicating. And that was definitely something to really learn in the beginning, because you have all ages. I had an infancy all the way to, parts that were my age. So, and I'm 42 now, so they were actually in their 30s. So trying to get all these different ages to communicate and have children really understand their place as they're children and they can't take on responsibilities as adults. It's really like having a preschool, and it's kind of interesting because that's what I did. I worked with children. So it's literally like training up children and, teaching them, how to talk.
And little U's, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right there because it's time for our first break. And so interesting. And thanks, Clay Ross from LinkedIn, for typing in replay. This is actually not replay. We're on live right now. And you're welcome to call in 866-826-1340 to join the conversation, and 866-826-1340. And we're going to go to a commercial break. And thank you everybody for your comments. Cole's got an amazing journey and more to share. And we will be back with Moments of Clarity in a moment. Please stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Join DID Discovering Hope for their 6th annual trauma conference, where Dr. Colin A. Ross will speak. He is internationally renowned clinician, researcher, author, and lecturer in the field of trauma-related disorders. CEs will be offered. Conference occurs 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Friday, October 22nd and Saturday the 23rd. Network, learn, and grow. Get an exhibitor table to share your organization or nonprofit. Learn more at diddiscoveringhope.org. That is diddiscoveringhope.org.
Hello, my name is Lucy Lopes, and I'm a real estate agent that supports ending the stigma on mental health with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I am also passionate about helping you buy or sell your home. With times being so difficult, I'm here to help. Contact me at lucylopes.com. That's LUCYLOPES.com. Let me assist you through this pandemic and know that you are not alone.
If you're a show host, gamer, live streamer, podcast host, or radio show host that would like your message to get out and reach up to 30 platforms, then there's an affordable way to do that. It's called Restream. Restream makes it easy to broadcast professional live videos from your browser to multiple social platforms at once. Start your live show with guests, brand it with logos and overlays, and create an interactive experience for your audience. Learn more at Restream.io and mention Moments of Clarity for special offers.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, and thanks for listening. If you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're talking about mental health diagnosis called dissociative identity disorder, more formally known as multiple personality disorder, with someone that's not only been through it and has gone through so much to heal from it, but helps so many others with what she's been through so that they don't have to suffer alone. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Cole Ian.
Hi.
And thanks to everyone for tuning in. And you're welcome to join the live discussion at 866-826-1340. Once again, 866-826-1340. And we have a caller on the line. We have Dale. Hi, Dale. Thanks for calling in. Welcome to Moments Clarity.
Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Cole.
Hi, Dale.
How's everybody today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm very well. I just wanted to jump in here because there's a lot of confusion between dissociative and schizophrenia. Because as you know, Tiffany, I've been on your show as a schizophrenic, and for a long time I argued with my main doctor that I was a multiple or dissociative as opposed to a schizophrenic, and the two are the psychiatric community is like very reluctant to admit dissociative as a diagnosis. But I have a sister who is a therapist with like 5 or 7 dissociative patients, and she says that she'll be talking to them and they'll change personalities in front of their eyes. So I just wanted to ask Cole, how did you? You said you had 40 and now it's down to 3, but how did you go about like getting all those personalities under control so that you can like integrate them into hopefully one giant Cole at the end?
A lot of therapy. I did a lot of different types of therapy. I think EMDR was one of the strongest ones that I believe really helped me. I also did equine therapy, which is working with horses. Being that I had been a child care specialist, I was able to take what I learned as a teacher and implement it with my system. And that was really beneficial because I end up looking at my system as just children that needed to be guided and being able to talk with them, but also learning about myself through this, learning and being able to allow each part to have a voice. And that is probably the biggest thing for any trauma survivor, regardless if you're a DID person or not, being able to have a voice and being able to talk about the things that happened and being validated. I think validating parts of myself really help them, and also being in a safe environment. I have a really strong support system of a wonderful husband who is very supportive through all of this. And we never said to any parts that you had to integrate, that it's your choice how you want to do that. You can stay, because a lot of them will look at it as that death. So we had to go through that process of being able to just love myself, love all of me. And that is probably the hardest when you've been traumatized, when you've been abused, because you take on, it's your fault. There must have been something you did. So I would say that was probably the biggest challenge, is trying to just love myself, love those parts of me, and not being afraid of hearing what they had to say.
Well, I understand that perfectly. And one of the things that I was hospitalized 15 times for my episodes of schizophrenia, and one of the things that I feel in hindsight was that the reason that I was hospitalized so often is because everybody was trying to insist I always be Dale, and I knew these other personalities needed expression. So it caused like a great conflict within me, and I'm basically reintegrated completely into Dale now. But I just wanted to express my admiration and my wonder at the journey that you've been through, Cole. And I think it's great, and I'm sure you will integrate into one Cole eventually, just like I've integrated into one Dale out of my 9 personalities.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you so much for that.
I've had clients that with dissociative identity disorder, that one of their personalities was a 4-year-old, and they would get in an accident driving. All of a sudden they would, I guess, transform into their 4-year-old and forget how to drive and get in an accident. Or and journaling, there were so many different handwriting styles that and one client actually made me uncomfortable because one of her personalities was a male that had a crush on me, so she'd get inappropriate. So we would have to end the session like that because it was inappropriate. And I didn't like that personality, to be honest. Like, all right, get out of my office. Go on TV, bring back so and so, or you got to go. You got to watch your manners. But
Right.
so it's like I've seen people actually,
Well, I'm very thankful that I never dealt with the driving issues. That the littles that I had never came out during driving. So that was definitely something I am so thankful for.
You had an episode with your husband that was kind of funny. Want to share that?
Yes. So I had
Hold on, Dale. Do you have any more questions, or do you want to stay on or participate, or I can let you go right now?
Well, I'll let you get back to the show, but I just wanted to point out that that dissociative is still very iffy when it comes to the psychiatric community, and the fact that you found Cole, and I think that's great, and good luck on your future work.
Thank you so
much. If you feel inspired to call back, Dale, you can. It's just virtually, I hate this black box, so I'll let you go for now. But you're welcome to call back if something inspires you to come join the conversation again. Okay.
Well, I appreciate that, Tiffany, and thanks always for your support too.
Your feedback's always welcome. All right, talk to you soon. But I hate that black box.
Sorry, that's actually so true. What he's saying is a lot of the mental health field is still really not wanting to open up about dissociative identity disorder. It's kind of interesting because when you go to the Psychology Today and look up therapists, they all have that they're familiar with dissociation and all these things. But when you try to reach out to a therapist, most of them do not have the understanding and the skills. There's still some that don't believe. I remember when I was first I had a therapist, but she just focused on PTSD with me. And when I started to really realize that there's something more, I needed to find a therapist that really understood DID. I reached out to 25 to 30 therapists in my area.
And one that has trauma-informed care as well and specializes with. But the sad part is that there are quite a few people that attention seek or whatever, and it's called malingering, and they want to pretend or try to for shock factor or whatever because it's a different diagnosis, and where it's a borderline personality disorder or whatever it is, and want to get a rise or
I have to
with a therapist and pay to mess with a therapist, which
I personally don't even know why anyone want to make this stuff up or pretend. I really don't.
I know. There's a lot of things that people lie about, and it's kind of why would you lie about this? And if you don't lie about something, it's sexual abuse or whatever, lie about having a superpower or something. Why would somebody lie about being traumatized? But it's attention seeking at times.
Yes. And when you mentioned that, Tiffany, I did go through a place where I was afraid that I was making it up. I refused to look anything up about DID. I never even heard of it until I was diagnosed with it. And I, for about a year and a half, did not look anything up. I didn't want to know because I thought that if I look it up, then I'm going to fake it. And so I refused to learn anything about it for a while because I didn't know what that was going to look like for me. And when I started really finding other people that had the same circumstances similar to mine, and they were all diagnosed with DID and all over the world, and the things that they would say to me, I was like, wow, they even know me, but yet they're going through similar things and they're sharing things that I've never told anyone. So it was kind of that was my moment of clarity, that it wasn't fake and that it was real.
Mm-hmm. In grad school, there was I just remember, I forget how the conversation came up, but they're saying how if you were Baker acted or anything like that and could make up a diagnosis, which one would you play out, And then after hearing about these things, none of them sound fun to be for real, of course, but it was just one of those discussions. And why would you do it? And I think it was more to get into depth of these diagnoses and see if we really knew what we were talking about. The professor was like, well, that's not really what you would have, some people would say OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder, and then say because I would want to be really clean, and it's not really what that means. You know, it has intrusive thoughts, and it's very challenging. Bipolar isn't just mood swings; it's panic and
Right.
depression and manic and psychosis at times and things like that. So it's like that's why this show is ending the stigma on mental health, because
Yep.
in the beginning, like when you're studying this, even people can misunderstand what a diagnosis, what the
Really.
diagnosis really feels like, and how much courage it is to not only talk about it but to live with it and this condition, and to have to focus your whole life on this and wonder, well, okay, so Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate it's coming up. I wonder if I'm going to have an episode then, or things like that. People planning vacations without worrying about that kind of stuff too.
Yes. Well, and here's the thing, though, that most people don't understand about DID is that it is a coping skill. So most people with DID can live a somewhat normal, whatever normal looks like, life. And, I mean, again, I went to school, I went to college, I had a business. I was functioning. Most people with DID are functioning people. And it's not until their brain finally says, as you said before, oh, you're safe now. You need to start processing all these things has happened to you in your past. And so for me, it was, I had a lot of more, I believe for me, I had a lot more dominant adults that helped. I didn't have a lot of small children. I think a lot of them had grown with me. And that was really beneficial and helpful because, from 8 until my teen years, I was not being abused. There was no physical, sexual, emotional abuse going on in my home. So I think that helped also. So it wasn't repetitive abuse all my life, where a lot of people do go through that.
There's other research that I've read about, that this woman was habitually abused as a child satanically, like, with the cult and everything,
Yes.
and several personalities, and she would blank out, and one of them was self-destructive, another one was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and she would be not wanting to do these things in other personalities, and so she would black out and then realize that she had done all this other stuff that she didn't want to happen, like
Yeah, that
self-mutilated, or then liquor and drugs and like that kind of stuff,
all of it. Yeah.
and
That is the rough stuff of it. I mean, unfortunately, when you have someone who's been through satanic ritual abuse, I my best friend who unfortunately committed suicide during COVID, she was DID and she also was a satanic ritual abuse survivor. And the things that she would share was just, I thought like my stuff and I'm like her stuff, and I don't like to do comparing, but I really,
Right.
it's really rough when you've been through, ritual abuse.
Do they ever find these people later, these cults that are torturing children? And
Some have been revealed. I mean, and in general, like my perpetrators pretty much are dead. They passed on. I know that there's been some survivors who've shared their story. I know one survivor who was able to take her main perpetrator, who was like in the ring of a cult, that took them to court and got justice. So there is that possibility, praise the Lord personally. But so there is those stories, that there is that hope. And I think for me, sharing my story and being able to survive and be not just a thriver or survivor, I'm living life. I'm enjoying my life. I have a beautiful child. I'm living life. That's how I'm getting justice. I'm getting justice,
well
you
said.
know?
And not only that, but the more that you share your story, because I've heard it a few times, and you share more and more each time, and I know that you do with your conferences and your groups and everything like that, that I think that that could be why your personalities are integrating more, they're healing, because you're sharing more, because sharing our stories help us heal too, as well.
Yeah.
Especially with the undeserved shame and guilt and all of that from childhood sexual abuse and things like that, then that is important to the more we share, the more the guilt and shame dissolves.
Absolutely. And, the more I share, I have found that it does get a little bit easier and I used to share and then afterwards, it wasn't during because I would dissociate during my share time. But then afterwards, I would always have this anxiety. Oh my goodness, I shared who found out about this. And I always had this worry, and either people don't believe me or my perpetrators are going to come after me. Like, it was a lot of that in the beginning. And as I've shared more and more, and as I've integrated and become more of acceptance, I have realized it's not as intensified. I do not have a fear any longer of sharing my story. And when more things become more revealing to me, I have learned today okay, I need to talk about this. I'm not going to hold this in. And, that gives me the power that I didn't have as a child.
Right.
I now have the power.
You don't have to suffer in silence. You have the voice. They can't hurt you anymore.
That's right.
And I'm just blown away by how far you've come and everything that you're doing. It's time for our second break, but I want to share what you're doing and everything. And when we come back after this commercial break. So everyone, please stay tuned and don't forget to call in if you have any questions.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Join DID Discovering Hope for their 6th annual trauma conference, where Dr. Colin A. Ross will speak. He is internationally renowned clinician, researcher, author, and lecturer in the field of trauma-related disorders. CEs will be offered. Conference occurs 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Friday, October 22nd and Saturday the 23rd. Network, learn, and grow. Get an exhibitor table to share your organization or nonprofit. Learn more at diddiscoveringhope.org. That is diddiscoveringhope.org.
If you are like most people, you worry with the financial challenges you face today. How do you protect your family from financial ruin? How will you reduce your liabilities and get out of debt sooner? And how can you deal effectively with the constant changes in your job, your career, and your business? Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house. You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills so you can achieve your dreams and end your worry. Call us today and schedule your complimentary, no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. Call Scott Bigley at 727-422-7761.
Are you having trouble staying sober after you've completed rehab and need a positive environment to help you continue sobriety? At Real Recovery Sober Living, we strive in both community and environment for men in early sobriety to help support you while in early recovery. For only $750 a month, we cover everything you need when it comes to a safe, clean, and accountable environment necessary for success in sobriety. Check out our website at realrecoveryfl.com. That's realrecoveryfl.com. We have 6 locations in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Brandon, North Tampa, and Bradenton, because everyone deserves a quality, sober living.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one. Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician-songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hi, and thank you for listening. If you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I'm Tiffany Warner. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we are talking about dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. And my guest is a human trafficked survivor that went from 40 personalities down to 3 because she's healed so much and has gone through so much to heal and everything. And now puts forth help for others as well. And not only that, she's published a book on it and held conferences and started a nonprofit organization focused on helping those healing with something similar, from horrific abuse, satanic abuse, childhood abuse, and so forth. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Ian.
Thank you. It's so great to be here again.
I know. I agree. I'm so glad that you are here. And someone from Facebook user says it takes incredible courage sometimes to go public with your journey. But I found the more I share, the more support I've gotten. People are a lot more understanding than many think.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that.
Please, if you're watching live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, please hit the show with a like, a thumbs up. A lot of times we forget to do that when we're watching. And subscribe to the Moments of Clarity YouTube page if you're on it. And so time to promote Cole. She's got some stuff going on next Friday, right? That's this
22nd, 23rd, yes.
Yes. So you've got this Creating Resilience seminar that Dr. Colin A. Ross, which he comes in as a keynote speaker for many of them that you do. He dues that will be given and sponsored, but it says this one, it says 9 to 4, but the other one says 8 to 4, so it's kind of confusing. But
so the actual event starts at 9, doors open at 8, and if you're an exhibitor, they come in at 7.
Okay, like a table vendor or whatever.
Yes, if they want to have a table.
And 10.5 CEUs are available for licensed mental health counselors. And so is that for the whole day? How does that work?
Yes, it is for the whole day. We do get an hour break. Dr. Colin A. Ross has been speaking at our conferences. This will be our 6th annual conference. We even did it during COVID, and even during COVID, we had over 45 people attend. It was amazing. Dr. Colin Ross still came, and he has been so supportive in this. He is just a pioneer for trauma survivors. He has a trauma institute in Texas. Discovering Hope is actually going to be going to Texas as well for the first time this year to do a conference there. So I'm really excited about that. So it's growing, it's expanding, the word's getting out. But he will be here speaking. And he, like I said, he is very well educated and well known regarding dissociative identity disorder. He's written over 30 to 40 books on trauma. He has his own trauma institute, and he speaks every year for us. So I'm very grateful for him. And then we have all of our other therapists who come and speak: Julie Beachhill, Reverend Stephen Thomas Edwards, Dr. David Calvareri. And we also this year have an amazing testimony by a young 17-year-old boy who was bullied and has DID and how he's living with it. So it's an amazing story that he has. So this all is in the conference. So it's, it ends at 4:00. But yes, you get 10.5 CEUs as a therapist. I just want to encourage therapists to come, even if you're like
both days or just one of the days.
It's both days. The 10.5 is for both days. You can split it, but you won't get the whole 10.5. You have to come for both days to get the 10.5.
Can we do it via Zoom, or do you have to be there in person?
Yeah, right now we're still doing it through in person. We are thinking to record it and give the opportunity for people later to see it. I'm really mostly all about the in-person. I like to be face-to-face with people. And I know that the survivors, because there are survivors that come because they're looking for resources. They're looking for people who can help them. So they come out, and even during COVID when we did it, there were so many who were like, thank you for doing this still. Thank you for doing this because we really need this. So I think a lot of them look forward to coming and being able to connect with other survivors as well as getting the resources that they need.
So you said it's 8 to 4 or 9 to 4?
Yes.
Like 9 to 4?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
then is there a cost for both days?
Yes, there is. I believe a total is 100 for CEs if you're a licensed mental health counselor for both days, and then you just split the cost. So I think it's like 50. And then scholarships for survivors. There's still some available, I believe. And then the general admission, you can choose either both days or not. I think it's like $35 each day. So it's a really good conference, and it's a reasonable price. So even interns, interns who are just getting in the field, this is great for them as well.
So it's you're saying you could split the CEs, or let's just say
so if you do one day, you would get 5.5 CEs, and then the next day so it would be split up.
For lunch. Is lunch included, or you go out?
You go out for lunch. You have an hour to either bring your meal, or you can go get something,
or network,
other
people, and that sounds amazing. That sounds great.
There'll be coffee and snacks available throughout the conference.
I can't go without that.
I know, right? You need your coffee.
And we're running close on time. You also wrote a book, and DID, Discovering Hope, Dissociative Identity Disorder. Is there somewhere that we could purchase that as well?
You can go to Amazon. You can go directly to my website, diddiscoveringhope.org, and resources. My book is in there that you can click on the link and it'll take you right there to purchase. And anyone who would like to at least have the first chapter, I'll be willing to offer it for free, the first chapter, because the first chapter is all about DID and what DID really is. So it's questions and answers.
So for Moments of Clarity listeners, at least, right? So yeah. how do we contact you to get this free chapter? That's very gracious of you, at least.
If you go to my website, my email and my contact number is right there, diddiscoveringhope.org. All my information is there. You can reach out and you will be able to let me know. And I'm still trying to figure out the whole PDF file of downloading, but I promise you, I am not techie, but I'm getting there. So, but yes, you can just go right to the email, to the website, and it'll send you to all the information.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for being on the show and sharing everything. You've come a long way, and nobody should have ever have to go through anything that you've been through, but you're handling it. And things happen to people and we can't explain them, but what happens to us and how we react to them defines our character, and it shows that you're a true survivor, and I appreciate and I'm honored to know you.
Thank you.
And I'll see what I can do about showing up to your event too.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But I encourage you guys to read Cole's book, Discovering Hope. Just go to our website, diddiscoveringhope.org. And thanks again, Cole, for being on the show.
Thank you.
It's time to wrap up a little. And thanks, everybody, for listening. Tomorrow, we're on every Thursday and Friday, 12 to 1. And tomorrow we have someone who wrote a book called A Mouthful of Air that turned into a movie, and starting Amanda Seyfried. And it's a real story of overcoming depression and everything. And it's now a film. And looking forward to hearing that tomorrow. With everybody, please be kind to yourself and a stranger, because you never know what they're going through. And if you have any questions or anything for me, you can find all of my links on mocwithtiffany.com, and everything's there. And thanks to Ed, thanks to the team, thanks for everyone, and for the callers that call in, and for people that leave the comments and everything. That does a lot to show support to the guests and to everyone that is sharing their story, because it's not easy for someone to come up here and share their story, and I know that. And once again, the seminar for Cole is going to be next Friday, October 22nd, and Saturday, the 23rd, from 9 to 4. And snacks included. Coffee and snacks included. I'm in. And I know that you love these speakers. They're amazing. And I've heard of some of them too as well. So it'll be great. I just know that with the virtual, that people that don't live locally would probably want to attend as well. So that's what I was asking.
Believe it or not, people actually travel. We have people from all over that travel.
I would believe
cool.
It.
It's kind of neat to see people do that. So really cool.
Yeah, I mean, if it's worth it, of course. And that's the thing, is that when it's worth it, it's worth the travel, and it's beautiful Florida. So
that's right. Take it as a vacation too. Go to the beach.
I try my best to be there as well. And everyone, you're not alone. And please follow us on the show. We'll see you tomorrow at 12. Everyone have a wonderful day, and be kind to yourself. A stranger, you never know what they're going through, and especially yourself. Take care, and thanks for watching.
Now I get it. Moments of clarity. To yourself, be kind. It will please your mind. Don't put yourself down. Time for a change. Believe in yourself. Time to rearrange. Be your best friend. Bring hope to your day. Lose your critic. Get out of your way. Now it clicks. Moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it. Moments of clarity. To yourself, be kind. It will please your mind. Find your joy. Trust in you. Put in the time. You'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love. Your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity.